Hearty welcome to all of you. In continuation to the previous videos like research proposal and research process, in today's video, we are going to learn about literature review. This particular concept is considered as one of the very important aspects in creating our thesis or our research work in a proper manner. Now, very first question comes into mind here is what is meant by literature review. Now, it can be a surveying of the books, any articles, any of the magazines, or any of the dissertations, depending upon our area of research. It can be in particular or in specific. Sometimes we might depend upon a particular information in the thesis done already in our area of research. This is called as literature review. Next, purpose of literature review. This has been a very important concept. Now, in order to find the need and importance of our research, the purpose of literature review depends. Sometimes we should be having a good idea what we know and what has to be known to us. And this can be called as what are the gaps that are there in our field or in our chosen subject to create a research work. And simultaneously, we should have an idea of how to go further in our research concept. In this process, we have to undergo a critical evaluation of the current literature by means of carrying out the thorough study of the articles, that is, it may be journals, magazines, and dissertations in our research area. Next one, steps involved to carry a good literature review. Let us look into these concepts. Very first, search for the source. Now, it can be any journals, books, magazines, dissertations, e-resources. But keep this in mind that all of these topics must be having in the context of our research work, but it should not deviate into different aspects. Let us look at what can it be. It can be like Pubmed here, just few examples where you can search about methods. We can go through the literatures here, depending upon journals. Depending upon our research work, these website chains, when they're open, we can go for publishing, explore the journals here. We can go for the journals and we can search for them. Similarly, some of the university libraries like artside.org, we can go for it and we can search for even the thesis or dissertations in our respective research area. Now you can, on the screen, you can observe there are so many research areas where you can search our thesis or articles, which are very helpful in carrying out our research. Next one, evaluate, analyze, and select the source. What are the points that has to be taken into consideration? Very first one, relevancy. How much relevant the content we have selected to read and to find the evaluation is good. Now, based upon the relevancy, next we have to go through its abstract of the particular article or magazine or a thesis. If the abstract is matching to our research area, then we can go further into the research rather than wasting our time. Abstract gives us the opening bracket of the entire article. Next, citations. Which type of citations that has been given in those articles or dissertations. That also gives a clear picture for the selection of the good source for our literature review. And next point is identification of perfect source. Here comes, these are the points. Very first point we have to consider is area of research. We should be very specific in considering the perfect source. There is the area of research. In that area of research, while going through that article or journal or dissertation, we must go through what are the recommendations that have been given by the authors and what in terms of its advantages, its suggestions, limitations. After going through all these things, we must be able to identify the gaps here. If we are able to find the gaps, then we can say that we are going in a perfect line of our work. The next is framing the structure of the review. Look at this one. It can be chronological approach, means having a good order in nature. Next one is keywords. We should have a thorough knowledge about the keywords such that we can frame the structure in a good way. That is, it depends upon different arguments, different concepts. Now, the next one, methodological. Here, if our methods, what we have in our mind to carry research, are matching those review articles, then the framing becomes very easier. And also the models that are there in those papers will also help us to create a good structure of the review. Not less than this, we can have, like we can prepare some set diagrams, like Venn diagrams, to create what are the concepts in the form of Venn diagrams. That is, we can create the boundaries of our research work, how many topics or what are the topics that we have to undergo. Next, last but not the least, we have to come into action. That is, we have to start writing our concept. Here, the three parts of our literature review are introduction, main body, and conclusion. Introduction gives us details about who are the authors in connection to their date of publication and what they have said. Now, coming from that point, we can go into main body. We can write there things like suggestions, recommendations, advantages, limitations. We can write it in the main body. After that, when we come to the conclusion part, we can make a clear picture of the summary, what are the gaps that have been found in that literature review, and after that summary of all the papers, that is articles or journals or dissertations, we can come to a conclusion that these things are missing in these research works, and we can carry our research work in that procedure. Now, after this conclusion, we can say that our research work is going in a good direction. This is how the literature survey plays an important role in the thesis or dissertation work. Thank you. Keep watching and keep suggesting us for good videos.